And that's all really good music is. There are people who write songs, and there are people who tell stories. These are definitive storytellers. Long may they continue. Welcome back to another reaction video, and this time it is President with a brand new track called Dark Heaven. I saw these guys live opening up for Bad Omens. I'm seeing them again in October, and if they were playing tomorrow, I'd see them then, because there's a lot of things in this world you will waste your money on. Seeing them live is not one of them. I promise you that. So if you can get tickets, I know their upcoming tour is sold out in a lot of places, but if you can get resale, or you have a friend, or you know somebody who has a spare ticket, trust me, it's going to change everything you think about live music. They're phenomenal. Now, it's going to premiere shortly. I can see the countdown ticking away. I'll cut to it as soon as we're ready. President, Dark Heaven. Let's see what you got. Man, I am all for building tension, but I feel like I'm at a spa getting a foot massage. Let's go.
I could let silence linger. I could lose faith in you, just let the sinners pull the trigger. Weigh the blood and carrots, judge by power, not merits. Turn the dead to numbers, keep on spilling guts for terrorists. Gather round, children, sing hallelujah.
Hey. Give me a hard second here. Couple things. Firstly, Mr. President and co. Where was my invite? You must not have my new address, because I surely would have gotten one and I would have been there. But in all seriousness, how cool an experience to go through and have an early listen. Reaction videos are valuable for a number of different reasons. Inside baseball, pretty good marketing, free marketing for a lot of the bands and labels. But, you can never have that first listen again. Best you can do is watch someone else experience that moment that you had, and you kind of relive it through them. And watching them sitting, listening, and the shock on their faces, some of the obvious, aggressive and different takes, that super layered and driven fuzz. Now, you must remember, when you're listening to a premiere on YouTube, the volume and amplification is boosted. When you go back and listen to it again, it's going to be slightly lower. It's just something that happens in the back end. It's not a big deal. But that real crunch and fuzz and drive that seems to be all mixed together with the sole purpose of making you feel uncomfortable while making you nod your head along to that beat. Speaking of the drums, there's often this raw live drum sound with some of the program bits and the synth work, but the work on the hi-hats is actually what's driving that. Normally, your dominating factors where the snare hits and where the kick hits, and maybe I've gotten so comfortable with their sound that I'm looking for other things, but that was a nice surprise. And they seem to be a band, before we carry on, that asks a lot of what-ifs. There are a lot of rules in music. Most people who don't play an instrument don't know them. There's only a certain amount of chords, a certain amount of ways to piece them together, a certain amount of effects you can use. And while there's all these spectrums of all those, there is a set of definitive rules. This is how long a song should be. That was back in radio times. It should go intro, sometimes verse, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, then you go into a bridge, double chorus, outro. Like there's all these rules. And what I love about publishing on channels like YouTube and being more free with digital access is that people start asking, well, what if? What if we don't carry the vocal melody just within the boundaries of what the chord's telling us to do? What if we drift it over? And so chapter 1 and 2 musically are separate, but vocally they are not. It's in fact just the same page. So you're reading a book in different segments if you were listening to the music, but you're just reading a couple lines in terms of the vocal. And that's a different way to tell a story. And that's all really good music is. There are people who write songs and there are people who tell stories. These are definitive storytellers. Long may they continue.
I should be the speaker, I can point the finger. You just blast the gun and taste the young to pull the trigger. Where the grief and cares, worship flags are married. Turn the dead to numbers, keep on spilling guts for tears. Gather round children, sing hallelujah.
Got to stop. Last time, I promise. Typically, we're in the zone where we go into something either quite soft to break away from the heaviness or something quite heavy to make it seem like you haven't even touched the surface of the audio room that they've walked into. They've given you a false ceiling and false walls, and they're about to knock them down. And typically, that's what you get. Sometimes, though, you get the brutality with this whined, beautifully agonizing scream into something sung, which then gives you a bit of both. I do want to say this. I'm a massive hip-hop fan. I love the introduction of it. There are a lot of purists out there. I don't like that. You used auto-tune. You did a hip-hop thing. You did this. That's called experimentation. And if you like eating the same meal every day for the rest of your life, good luck. I don't. I like my music to have a little bit of spice, and I like that spice to change sometimes. It's a pretty brave and awesome decision. It sits perfectly within what I love. I encourage you. We have such short attention spans. We're just terrible, awful consumers. Everything needs to please us and us specifically right now, or it's dead to us. And it's a pretty immature and devastating way to crush artists and exposure. I encourage you to listen to this multiple times, as you do with all the other music that you love. Something that grows on you and something that impacts you straight away, there is no difference in quality. You ever be home and you run a conversation you had with someone through your head and it means a lot more than when it just happened? Same thing.
You watch us burn. Cry, I forgot, but I'm not the person I
Man, that is that's special. You know, this reaction thing, it's just fun for me. It's a hobby. I have a full-time job. I love my job. I love this. And I feel like we're in a world, and this is maybe a little bit of a rant, so if you liked what you heard, please feel free to follow and subscribe and support in all the ways that everybody tells you to, because it genuinely is really helpful. But just a bit of advice, something I've started implementing a lot more in my life in terms of content in different ways. I don't watch like a lot of the reaction stuff. I watch some, but when it comes to like content and reactors and things, if anyone's telling you what to like or how to like it, that's probably not a good sign. If someone's always putting out drama, it's probably not a good sign, because you're trading your minutes as you are right now, and thank you for that, for this, and that's the most valuable thing. It's priceless. Time is something you can never get back. I don't care how rich you are. So be really picky with who you watch, and if this is for you and what I've done you enjoy, then please, there's a lot more to them, and a lot of other artists on my channel. I encourage you to go and give that a look. But yeah, be a lot more picky with things. You're important, and so is your time. Now, I cannot wait to see this live. Phenomenal. There's a lot. That drum is so good. They're a band that no matter how good they are, and my God, are they good, they will always make melody the winner. Nothing will take over and nothing will sacrifice, because they find a way to musically compromise in little ways to make sure that nothing seems like it's trying to be the star outside of the song and the melodies that they're trying to push forward, which I have huge admiration for. Again, if you like that one, there's lots more. There's a whole playlist. And I'll catch you at the next one. Until then, please be safe, be nice to each other, and have a damn good day.